धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे स्थापकाय धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। अहतामासद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतगमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from unreal to real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. Friends, I am very happy to be here to speak about spiritual wisdom. God has provided everything for us. Only we should be able to recognize the glory of God manifesting in infinite ways in the world. So in order to cross over from unreal to real, we have to light the lamp of knowledge to destroy the darkness of ignorance. As long as we are not awakened to the glory of knowledge, we will be always in darkness. As long as we are in darkness, we are in ignorance. So, we have to struggle, strive very hard to get ourselves awakened. This is Swami used to say most emphatically, arise awake and stop not till the goal is reached. What a fantastic statement it is. And this famous statement is quoted from most famous Upanishads, Kathopanishad. So, it's not simply Uttishtata, Jagrata. So, you have to become awakened. And world is a forum which gives you an opportunity to wake up. To wake up from ignorance. We are sleeping in darkness of ignorance. We have to wake up by getting ourselves acquainted with knowledge. So that spiritual knowledge is to be given to every one of us. It's our topmost priority. Since we are not giving any attention to the spiritual values, our life has become miserable and miserable. And there is no end for misery. It goes on increasing, increasing. Up to what level? The infinite level. Why infinite? Because everything in God's creation is infinite. Why? God Himself is infinite. That's the mystery. Anything that you take up goes to infinity. Knowledge, infinity. Joy, infinity. So that's why when a person realizes the divine, he becomes totally ecstatic. He cannot contain himself. That's why it's called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So in that state, he is totally merged with the divine bliss of the God. That's the way. So we are born in this world by the most special grace of God. But we forget it. Don't think we are born in this world to enjoy the world and get away from it. Not like that. God's grace has started from the way how we are born in this world. But we should know that fact. We should know that God is always behind us. He always wants us to come to Him. He is in the position of the mother. And mother is always focused on the children. God's creation is mother's children, God's children. Jagat Mata Pita Data, Shri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. I am the father and mother of the universe. What more declaration you want? Vasudeva Sarvamiti. The whole thing is Vasudeva himself. How much he has revealed himself in Bhagavad Gita? In very clear terms. That he is none other than Supreme God himself. Still we are so stupid. We don't understand the glory of God. We don't believe in God. We are too much egoistic. So we lose our way. So we are born in this world to rise up. But if we don't live the life properly, instead of rising up, we are falling down. Falling down. Falling down means entering into well of misery. Misery and suffering and suffering and suffering. How much crime, violence is going on nowadays? All over the world is boiling with violence, boiling. Innocent people are killed. Crime rate very high. No police force can control. Police themselves are corrupt. Judges themselves are corrupt. Wherever you put your hand, corruption. That means the whole world is infected with cancer of suffering. So, we have to make our conscience. Each individual should strive for it. So we should give correction to our view of life. How should we view this world? This world is God's own creation, means you must see the world as most sacred world. And this life is most sacred. Never condemn yourself. So, the world projects itself as your mirror. World is your mirror. The good you find in others is in you also. The faults you find in others are your faults as well. These are the words of spiritual wisdom. After all, to recognize something, you must know. The possibilities you see in others are possible for you as well. The beauty you see around you is your beauty. The world around you is a reflection. A mirror showing you the person you are. To change your world, you must change yourself. To blame and complain will only make matters worse. Whatever you care about is your responsibility. What you see in others shows you yourself. See the best in others, and you will be your best. Give to others and you give to yourself. Appreciate beauty and you will be beautiful. Admire creativity and you will be creative. Love and you will be loved. Seek to understand and you will be understood. Listen and your voice will be heard. Teach and you will learn. So if you have this kind of attitude towards the world, every day of your life becomes blessed. Start your life with prayer to God. O Lord, I am your child. In whatever manner you guide me, I will follow you. If you have this much of faith in you, certainly you will rise up. The dawn of awakening happens. So, we should all aspire for knowledge. Knowledge is light, but light is required. That's how we should look upon this world. Another important point, we should learn what the spiritual teachers have taught us through their experience. There was a farmer. He had a donkey. One day, it fell down into a well. The animal was helpless. It was crying very piteously for hours. Is there anybody to save? And the farmer could not think about how to rescue that animal. Anyway, that well had no water, otherwise the animal would have died there. Finally, the farmer thought, oh, that donkey, though it has served a lot, now it has become very old. So he began to think in this way. Instead of saving the animal, he was thinking, the donkey is old, and what's the use? So, let it be buried in the well itself. So he began to think in a very disheartened way. So, he wanted to fill up that well so that there is no question of anymore thinking about the donkey. So he invited all his friends and neighbors to help him, and they all came. They all grabbed a shovel and began to shovel dirt into the well, filling up the well with the dirt. At first the donkey could not understand what is happening. And he began to cry more horribly. Well, what is going on? It has no voice except to cry. Then, to everyone's amazement, that donkey quieted down. A few shovel loads later, the farmer finally looked upon into the well, and he was astonished at what he saw. With every shovel of dirt that hits the donkey's back, the donkey was doing something amazing. He would shake it off and take a step up. As the farmer's neighbors continued to shovel dirt on top of the animal, he would shake it off every time and coming up. Pretty soon, everyone was amazed to see donkey stepped up over the edge of the well and trotted off. In a way, the donkey was saved. Life is going to shower dirt on us. The trick to getting out of the well is to shake it off and take a step upwards. That's how we should look upon suffering coming to us in our life. Suffering comes to us to teach us a lesson. It wants to give us an education. It wants us to wake up to the reality, to rise up, to correct ourselves, correct our behavior. Suffering comes to teach us that. And suffering is caused on account of various factors. Anyway, the point is not running away from the suffering, but going briskly through the suffering. So if you are brave enough, courage enough to go through the suffering, at the end you find tremendous peace and bliss. So suffering goes away immediately. So all these things happen only when you are open-minded. Not whole day criticizing others, interfering in others' lives. Stop doing all such things. If you are really sincere about spiritual life, be sincere about every thought that comes to your mind and every action that you do. Everything should be noble and useful to society. At least if you think in those terms, you'll be able to transform yourself slowly and gradually. And you feel tremendous peace and joy if you take a spiritual path in this manner. Spiritual life is meant for giving you peace of mind. People think, oh, spiritual life is not to be taken now. Let us wait for some time. Let my hair become grey. Then I will become manifesti. Then whole life will dedicate to spiritual life. What kind of theory they are talking about? That means they are doing nothing as a result. If you are not able to do now, you will not be able to later on. That's the story. That's the real fact. So, no question of postponement. Today you have realized the point. From today onwards you must be very serious about spiritual path, spiritual life, and spiritual journey. If you are awakening yourself to that fact, you are saved. Certainly you are saved. And you will be taken up upwards. You are raising up yourself. You are not drowning. So drowning in this world means you are going away from spiritual path. And this world is such that it always keeps on sucking you more and more inward. And you will realize, oh, what has happened? I cannot raise up myself at all. At the hour of death, your mind is full of tensions, all sorts of things. And that's your life. Again to be born, in what manner you are born, God only knows. So, when the opportunity is given, never lose that opportunity. That's the wisdom. So you must be aware of the wisdom. Don't say I didn't know. Not knowing if you touch the electric wire, does the electric wire stop being shocked to you? You will be shocked by touching the electric wire. It doesn't say, oh, we didn't know, poor guy, so let me not shock. It won't say like that. Knowingly or unknowingly, you have the effect of it. That's a cosmic law. So your theory, I didn't know, will not work there. It's bogus. It only shows you must know it. That's the point. Must and should. Not after my hair grows grey, I will learn. No. Right now, from this moment, have that zeal. That zeal is in every one of us. Just as Swami used to say, each soul is potentially divine. You are the divine. You are the Brahman himself. But because you cloud of ignorance, you are not realizing that reality. So, mind is the cause. It is a root cause for bondage as well as liberation. Maneva karanam bandha moksha yoga. Famous Upanishad, Amrita Upanishad tells that. Mind itself is responsible for bondage as well as liberation. Run towards the temporary pleasures of the world, you are in bondage. But if the mind turns towards God, it is paving the way for liberation. So mind plays most important role in everyone's life. How you keep your mind, that determines your life. If the mind is hopeless, you are hopeless. No need to say that. So, but that mind is your subservient. You are the master of the mind. But for whatever reason, you have lost that control over the mind. Mind is overruling you. So mind has assumed the role of mastership. You are like a fool going with dictates of the mind. What nonsense you are doing? You have no control over your own mind. That's why you are suffering. You don't need a big preacher to come and declare that to you. Life teaches you. So, what is happening is, we are neglecting to cultivate good nature. Every being on this earth has two minds. One is spiritual mind, another is worldly mind. But what has happened is, because of our running rush towards the material things, our worldly mind has become hyperactive. To that extent, spiritual mind is dull, almost inert, almost non-existent. Is there anything called spiritual mind? You will doubt yourself. So, that's the cause of our embodied state. But God is gracious. He will provide many occasions for you to bestow His grace, to give you awakening. Every opportunity you get, you miss it. And again you downfall. Every opportunity you miss means you're falling down, 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 down. Trampling upon yourself. So, be aware of your glorious nature of the spiritual mind. Assertive of mastership. Mind says, I want to go to bar. You must immediately say, no, I don't go. You must use that power. In the beginning it may be difficult, but still, if you persist, you will succeed. They say, suppose you go to a mall, you see lots of things displayed there, nicely. You are tempted to steal. The temptation to steal is because we bad sanskaras in the mind. But you must be wise enough, no, I don't steal. That you must assert. Assert very strongly. Then you will overcome it. Otherwise, you yield to that. You steal and you will be arrested. That's how it is. So, world is meant for you not to get yourself entangled in it, but to get out of it. The world is a stage. Heaven is not the stage. People think by going to heaven they are free. No. You are not free. Heaven is a stage so that you will come back again on this earth. If you come back on this as a snake, as a jackal, as a tiger, as a lion, it depends upon what type of life you had led before. People think I am a human being now, next life also will be human. Who told you that? Next life you may not be a human being at all, you may be worse than human being. Because you committed a lot of crimes, violence, hatred, cunningness, you will be born as a snake, fox, etc. So, cosmic law is very, very vigorous. It doesn't spare anybody. Cause and effect. You are bound by it, no matter who you are. Cause and effect. So there is a famous episode in Ramanama to give the example of cause and effect. Dashrath, when he was young, he was very adventurous. He learned archery nicely. And there is a particular skill called Shabdavedi. By hearing the sound, he could target. And it would hit correctly. That knowledge he had acquired. And he was quite young and energetic, full of zeal. And so, he went out for hunting. And that was raining. In spite of raining, he urged to go for hunting. He did not stop him. He went out, searching for the sound of the animal so that he can shoot. Poor animal has to die. And he could not find for a long time. What is happening? No animals. Finally, he heard some noise, some sound. The animals, when they come and drink water, they make that sound. He thought probably some elephant is drinking the water. There was a river side. So he wanted to use his skill. He shot the arrow. It struck the target. The target was not animal. It was Rishi Putra. Who is that fellow who killed me? He began to cry. When he heard that human voice, he rushed and found out that he was the son of a blind rishis. The blind parents were staying a little away. They wanted to drink water. So they asked this poor boy, and poor boy went to fetch water. and he has to meet with them. And this boy warned the king, please go immediately and tell what has happened, otherwise you will be doomed. So immediately rushed. When the parents heard the footsteps, sound of the footsteps, oh my dear son, why do you take so much time to come here? We are thirsty. And he was shivering. I am not this, I am not his son. This is what happened.